Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue down the NaNoWriMo idea generation train. And for those of you who are new, NaNoWriMo is the National Novel Writers Month, and it happens every November. And every day in November you're supposed to write somewhere between 1,666 words and 1,750 words a day in order to get to a major goal of 50,000 words by the end of the month. And so for some people, that allows them to write a novel that they've been thinking about. But for other people, it's more about getting those 1,700 words written a day so that they can claim that they've written 50,000 words. And so to help you on that journey, I'm going to provide 3 themes for the day to help you brainstorm and come up with an idea for the day that you can use to build a story, an autobiographical sketch, the beginnings of a memoir. Maybe it is going to be a movie idea, something to that effect. And so we're going to look into 3 different themes, which I'm going to take from this particular clarity deck, which I found while watching tarot readings. It's called the Gift of Virtue I'll speak correctly. The Gift of Virtue Clarity Deck. And it is really great if you want to just have 3 themes for the day for people to explore, and this is going to be something that you can use to help you build your story. And so the themes of the day are organization, totality, and stability. I shuffled these just before I went on, so I'm really interested to see where this is going to take us, because this is an interesting group of people. That's really the first place that I went to. Is organization is an interesting word, totality is an interesting word, and stability is an interesting word for me. And so right now I'm using my brain I'm talking this stuff through to get ideas out. And so when I think of organization, right, and keep in mind that these can come in their positive organization, as in a person is completely organized and they're put together and they have everything in its place, or they can be the opposite. So think about people and places and characters that you might want to write about that might not be organized. And so organization is that as well. You can also think about a place, the organization, the place that you might have worked, or a place that other people work, and the way that that organization operates. And then here we have totality, and I'll go through the definitions in a moment, but totality is like the grand whole. It's the biggest level, the 550,000 foot view of whatever it is that you're looking at. The totality of my life, the totality of my career, the totality of my marriage, the totality of this relationship, the totality of my children's experiences working with this evil or great person. And so totality is the big whole. So some way that you can be looking back at the grand scheme of the whole of something. Or the totality that didn't exist. And so when you go to the high school reunion and you look at that, or the college reunion, or you go to whatever it is that you go to a reunion, and you find that your ex is there and you had a really long relationship with this person, and then you broke up and there was somebody else, and the totality of that relationship comes flying back at you, not in the positive, but in the negative. And then there's also stability. This is a character trait. It can be a character trait of the place that you worked, so it could be the organizational stability. It could be the character trait of you. It could be a character trait of someone that you're writing about. And again, it's more fun to write about the unstable people. It's more fun to write about the Joker. So you can look at stability as something that you can play with, because stability is sometimes viewed as boring and also as a character trait that gets mocked. Because people are too stable, really have nothing going on for them. There's no conflict for them if they're stable. But there's always that person that the unstable person goes to that creates stability for them. And so you can write the story about somebody who is the stability for an unstable person. So let's take a look at these cards in terms of their definitions so that we can also look at different ways of reading the word to get our ideas across. And so for stability, a foolish man builds his house upon the stand. Now, this is the opposite of stability, right? Because stability and foolishness don't normally go together. So this is a maxim that you want to keep in mind, that in order to help people understand that you need to be stable, you don't want to build your houses on sand. Sort of. But the stability is the strength to stand or endure, the fastness to a firm state. So your ability to stay resolute in your position, your unwavering commitment to yourself and your ideals, that's stability, right? You're not crazy. That's the other side of this. So they're using a much more literal sense of stability as in terms of buildings and stuff like that, and endurance. So for totality, the maxim that they put underneath that is whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So when you're looking at the whole, it's everything. It's the totality of something is every just huge 137 million foot view of what's going on. And so the definition that they choose for totality is an aggregate amount, the accumulation of components, the quality of the whole. So when you look at the totality of an organization, which is the next word, do all the pieces fit together really nicely to create a great sum? Where are all the hidden issues within the totality that cause it to be great or cause it to be bad? And so that's totality in its definition. And then organization. A place for everything and everything in its place. And so we've all met those people. And again, if you're not in this room, you'll realize that I'm not organized. I'm an English major. It's not my job. My job is to be messy because my brain is messy. And I appreciate that. That's how I am. That's why I'm doing this particular channel. But organization, a place for everything and everything in its place. It's the process of ordering objects into patterns to be more easily recognized. And that's the definition that they put there. But basically, it's also about your ability to order your own life. Because even though a person may not be that organized, they may have their life under routine. I know exactly when I'm going to bed. I know exactly when I'm waking up. There is organization to my madness. And we've all met those people that have piles. And if you ask them, where is this document? They just go here and they pull it out. They know exactly where something is, even though if you walked in there, you'd never be able to find it. But organization is something that you want to keep in mind if you're thinking about a character trait, because someone either has it, especially if they're stable, but they might not have it, and it may not be because they're stable, right? You can have a stable mind and be disorganized. Think about the different ways that you can create characters from this. But the thing that's going to be interesting is this totality. The totality is really, for me, if I were going to write this, the totality is really about the setting. It's about a person sitting, thinking about the grand whole of their universe, the totality of their life, the totality of their marriage as a spouse walks out after 35 years and never comes back, the totality of all of that. That might be something to write about, because the stability that they sought in that person who just left and the organization that person brought to the table is something that they're now going to miss and regret. And so that's the story that I would write. Can I get 1,700 words out of that? I don't know. But again, I'm leaving it up to you guys to take these words, stability, totality, and organization, and create an amazing 1,600 to 1,700 word document that's going to tell the story of something or someone in some place that's going to have a really great conflict. And I look forward to seeing where you take this. If it's 400 words today and 5,000 words tomorrow, that's awesome. Just keep going, keep writing, keep trying. And I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you tomorrow.